A máme tu ďalšieho kamaráta a ďalšieho hostia. Takže je tu J.A.Tassies. A túto izbu čítania ešte veľmi veľa ľudí nevidelo. A keď sa pozriete po bokoch, je to presne táto. A je to izba čítania, ktorá hovorí o ukradnutých menách. A nasledujúce dve izby, ktorými vlastne aj uzavrieme ako túto konferenciu, tak znamenajú, že prechádzame do ďalšieho módu od toho štúdia priestoru, ktorý sme si užili viac v tých prvých troch izbách, prejdeme na štúdium postavy. Takže budeme hovoriť o otázkach identity a teraz dám už priestor Josefovi. Yes.
Majú všetci staničky, chodte si zobrať do voľne španielsky. Teraz neviem, ale on je za
Pravdepodobne Joseph bude chcieť trošku s vami interagovať, takže chcem vás len poprosiť, nebojte sa si pokojne zobrať mikrofón do rúk. Je to kvôli nahrávke, nie kvôli tomu, že... Áno, ešte raz to poviem. Takže Joseph
pravdepodobne bude chcieť s vami trošku mať takú priamejšiu interakciu. Keď budete hovoriť, ja viem, že je to mnohým z vás nepríjemné, ale nejde o to, aby ste sa prezentovali a skôr, aby sme mali tú vašu odpoveď na mikrofóne, tak preto vám dáme mikrofón. Dobre, my chceme vás trápiť.
Yeah, I think. We were talking about reading in different experiences, and I would like, first of all, to say thank you to all of you for being here now. And the second thing I want to say is, okay, let's move a bit. Please, wake up. Wake up, everybody, please. And come here. Come here, because now we are going to make something that is experimenting reading. It's a very, very classic thing, something that has been made many time ago. That is to have a book and read it. Come here. You won't see here. Come here. Yes. Get on, come on. Okay? Okay. Then, that is not the book of the room of reading. That is another book, okay? And I want you to see it, okay? I want everybody, come here, you're very far. Hello, how are you? Yes. Yes. Here you have it. It's called If. If they gave me a black horse, if they told me, choose your own way, I would become a very big river, and my horse would never more be thirsty. If I was given tools for embroidery, if they told me, dress the world, I would search from those. And they would make a nest in my arms. If everybody gave me pains and more pains, if they told me, build a city with them, I would paint greenhouses and I would open wide the doors to the sun. But nobody gave me nothing. They gave me other things, but I don't tell about them. I give them. Okay? Now, what is this book about? You are expert readers, all of you. Then, what is this about? Can you tell me, some of you?
Môžete po slovensky, ja to budem prekladať.
Yes. What is it about?
It's about a girl who could do the magnificent, very great things if she had something, if she had done it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is this about?
O nejakom vnútornom svete.
It's about an inner world.
Yeah?
Inner world.
Mm-hmm. More opinions. What is it?
I was just observer of the
Observer, okay. Okay. What do you think it is about?
It's about a way, about a journey, and it's about finding solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very well. Different versions? What is it about?
Maybe it's about desire or wish to make the world better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then you can see us working on one single book, some kinds of books. You can go to many places, no? You can go to the desire, you can go to the three stories of girls or the story of the same girl. You also could see it this way. And you can talk about freedom, you can talk about options, you can talk about determinations, no? And it's the same book. Then the purpose for the room of reading here about the story names was in this way, that you can have one piece and then you can construct some other stories. And then I suppose it was because of this that Timothy told me to work with her with this room of reading, because of these possibilities of traditional books, because in the room of reading, there are also books now. Then let's say you can see it if you want. You will be better this way, I think. And but we are going to see it. But that's only because we also have to close our eyes again, like we have done this morning. But just for a moment. But before you must sit. Very good. Now we are not going to talk about this. We're going to talk about something that is quite more hard. That is bullying. And I'm sure that you all have known someone who played the role of the victim. Then I want you to close your eyes and think in one name, the first name that comes to you. That's enough, because I know you have some names. You did it? say one name out loud.
Simona. I was not thinking of it.
Ah, okay, fantastic. You are thinking of it?
Henrik.
Okay.
Henrik.
Mm-hmm.
Henrik.
Mm-hmm. One name?
Maria.
Maria. Out loud. One name? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One name? Mm-hmm. One name? Mm-hmm. Now we're going to think about one person who seemed to be happy making suffer other people. No? Okay? You got it?
Maria.
Mm-hmm.
Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Eva.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, then that's one thing that we are sharing now, and that we can also share with boys and girls who are reading together with us the book I'm going to show you. That is the purpose of this room of reading. Excuse me. Here, this is one of my sons, and they are doing in Barcelona an action about the book. That I did a reading of the book in Kamishibai, and then we painted those names. In this part was the name of the bully victims, and this was the part of names of ourselves. And in the middle there was this mirror. And we are going to see in the first moment, I think it will be the best thing. I will read you the story, okay? As you are grown-ups, then it's easy to do this way. Let's go. This story is called Stolen Names. Every morning, all the good things in the world, the new light, the smell of the oven, are set for many people. For people like you. For Anna, Beth, Charlie, Danny, Ed, Fiona, Grace, Harry, Rina, all the good things, the smiles, the things that are said quietly, are from James, Karen, Lucy, for Mohammed, Niam, Oliver, Paige. The good things are for Kentin, Raisa, Susan, and Tanya. They are for Uriel and Wanda. They are for Shenika. They are for Yuri. They are for Zoe. They are not for me. They are not for me. Because I have no name. They stole it from me at school. There, they call me SWAT because I study. There, they call me coward because I do not fight. Once I had a friend. But the others realized and took her away from me. My school, my prison, each year is like a sentence. They say that I just imagine things. They say that I live in my own world, that I see things the other way around. But if you see a pair of trousers flying across the changing room, be sure they are mine. And when the last bell rings, I hurry out of the class and hide until everyone is gone. This evening, when I got home and I saw myself in the left mirror, I decided to clean the steps. In the top floor, I look over the banister. I did not feel giddy. But you, who have willingly paid attention to what is happening to me, know full well that only birds can fly. Thank you for reminding me. What is your name? Well, that's the thing. Then we have done nothing that is not normal. We have been reading a book together. And then the thing that I'm proposing is this kind of exercise. For instance, in Barcelona, in the last 2 years, we have been with the libraries of the Department of the Diputación of Barcelona. We have been making exhibitions of this book in several libraries in the format of exhibition to be explained and to be shared for several persons at the same time. And then it's very different, the experience of reading. It's like using the classic format of exhibition to make a collective experience on it. Then it's clear, I think, that this material to work these sensations is made for deep experience, intellectual experience. Then it's not for kids for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. I think it can be worked from 10 years, 11, 15, 16, and adults also, like we have done now. Why? Because we have this kind of experience. Now I will try to go very quickly, one piece by piece, to try to share some reflections that I try to give for the reading and that can be helpful. One of the most typical things that I find when I'm talking about this book with people is the frequently asked questions is but why is there an apple in every head? Mhm. Have you some reason for this? What's the meaning of this apple head? Yes?
Jablko ako symbol poznania, niečo o sebe som sa dozvedel, niečo si o sebe myslím, tak to ma vnímajú ostatní, ktorí sú síce takí istí ako ja, ale videli ste, že v tom zrkadle som vyťahol, on sám seba vnímal ako hrušku.
It's an apple. Is it an apple which symbolizes the fruit of knowledge, and I could get to know something about myself, and this is one explanation of it.
Okay, then it's a good explanation, and it has to say with it. See?
Alebo mu nedovolia byť samým sebou.
Or there is another explanation that he's not allowed to be himself. That somebody is working on that. They didn't allow him.
Yes, it's another valid explanation. In this way, anyone in the book would be allowed to be himself. Notice this. Can you translate? I didn't realize. Then one thing that is important, I think, is that all these kind of explanations can be the beginning of single stories of the world's meaning of the book. Okay, it was. I must say, if I'm asking this to you, that in my intention, it was to avoid. It was something very more formal. It has this kind of meanings, and I like it. I'm really trying to say that maybe we can choose our creativities if we are working with childs to help them, to stimulate them to construct stories, for instance, about one single symbol of an illustration like this apple head. No, I was saying it was a very more technical and simple explanation. I wanted to have distance with the violence, and then I didn't want to show the faces that there's the place where there's the most of the expression, and then the situations that I had to create. I wanted to have a distance with the reader. Then that's only one thing, but there's a second thing that we see here. Let's change the image because we will see the same in the second one. This boy who's going to school, okay, has an apple head, but what more does he has? How is he dressed? Yeah? Uniform, no? Then everybody uses it here? No, not all the schools, no? Okay, then what is it not also a very interesting subject to be taught with you or with children or with you? What's the meaning of having an uniform?
The social byť uniformný, rovnaký.
It's a good thing in that way that uniformity.
Because there's a uniformity and the difference between people are allowed. Okay, and it has and you know that it has also the opposite right thing. Then we have a second symbol to make the story and to with these images to go talking about things of life, no? Like in this thing, equality, no? Or class, no? In the world. Okay. Then here. Is it okay? I am worrying you? No? Bueno. I don't know the environment. What kind of space is this one? Because I only see one person and one building. Can you imagine what is around? Can you remember the kind of journey that you made every day when you went to school? Or the journey that is making every child we're meeting? If they go to the bus, if they are going alone, if they go with brothers, with sisters, if they live in here, or they live in a small village or something this way. Okay, that's how white paper can help us very, very, very well to think about things. And this building, what do you think about this building? You have some idea? It suggests you something? Okay.
Smutná atmosféra toho obrazu.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad atmosphere. Sad atmosphere, monastery.
Mm-hmm. That is it's a very typical construction of the beginnings of the 20th century, or the 19th century, the last 19th century, for schools, big schools with this kind of yes, no, and then yes, it's a bit sad, no, the thing, and it's surrounded by walls. Okay. Your school was surrounded by walls or something this way? Yes. They were high walls, you couldn't jump it. No, you couldn't. Could you? Is there anyone here who was in a school with no walls? You? Hey, congratulations. All the rest of you had walls in your schools. Yeah. That's another thing to think about, these walls in the schools. No? Again, we have both things, security and prison. Well, we're talking all the time by now, we're talking about society and codes of society. We're not talking about bullying by the moment. There are, where he's going to school, and here we have 15 persons. There are 8 girls and 7 boys. Look at them. Who do you like the most? Who would you like to be? Who would you prefer to be? There are 8 tables, 3 with 2 girls, 2 with 2 boys, 2 with a girl and boy, and 1 with a boy alone. They will go appearing in the other pages of the book. Everyone has his role, more or less. But there's one that has the victim role. You know who is it? Yes, can someone touch him? Come on. Who is going to touch him? Make this. You. This one. This.
No.
This.
No.
This.
No.
This.
No.
This. Okay. Yeah. studying, that there is one motive from the others to laugh at him. Then this is another thing another subject to think about. Is it bad to study? Is it bad to learn? What are we studying? What are we learning? Well, there we cannot see for the format of the image, then I have to cut it. But here you will see there's a blackboard where there's a series of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 5. Can someone tell me which is the next? 1, 2, 3, 5. Hmm?
8.
Who said? Who said 8?
Me.
8. Hmm? See? And the next? 13. Okay. Very well. What's that? Fibonacci. Okay. Then they're learning something very concrete. And what is Fibonacci related with? Maybe with proportion? Yes? Of perfection? Hmm? Okay. Then, remember all our friends, you have made your choice of who you are. Well, there we have another thing that is vitae via virtus. What does it mean, vitae via virtus? Which language is it? Latin. Oh, you were not very good students of Latin. I see. Vitae via virtus. Yes, the way of life. No? It's something that is. But what is virtus? It's also again this idea of perfection. What are we doing with childs many times traditional school? Ideas of perfection, what you should be, what you shouldn't be, and so there's a model of this, and then it's an exaggeration. It's like a caricature of society. We are very lucky to have many schools in public and private systems that allow people to grow in a very holistic way and not with ideals of perfection and so. Okay, we are joking. We are making an image of something that even in the most free places is needed. That is one kind of direction. Yes. But many times, as we can't give enough attention to every one of the child, many people this direction doesn't fit with him, with her. You know, that's the thing that is happening to our main character, that doesn't know very well how to fit with the system. Where there is also some kinds of violence. Is a coward a person that doesn't fight? Coward is a name. Do you think you have to fight the others in order to succeed in your life? Do you do? What about when you are going to have a job? A friend of you also has to apply for the same job. Have you ever, it happened to you sometimes? It's not so strange. What do you do? What did you do? What would you do? Can it be fun for someone to make other people suffer? When we are out of the class in this place where we have the high walls normally, we find a place to have getting relation with our equals and to have friendships and so on, you know. And here we have this situation, no? Everyone is having their relations. Well, and somebody wants to be alone also, no? It's a possibility. It hasn't happened to you sometimes that you have been in a social space and you prefer to be alone. Everybody blah, 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 and you, I'm going to have this with coffee or something this way. It's not bad. It's a possibility also. Okay. You see, there's one, we can suppose there's one person that is not a child, not a very young people. Who is this person here? Can you find it? It's like a game of, try to find the person that doesn't fit with the playing game. Well, it's the unique person that doesn't use short. You got it? Okay. Okay. What is the meaning of these keys that he's got? Where have you been? Where have you seen this kind of keys?
Prison.
Prison. Very well. It's a topic. Okay? Do you recognize the protagonist friend? Who is this girl? Have you seen before her? No? Yes. You saw her. What do you imagine that are saying these girls? What do you imagine that are planning this voice? Have you seen this small boy? Can you find him here? Well, and so with other people right there. Okay. Okay. I'm sure you have seen this before. That's the spectacle of harassment. circle of people with a fight in the middle. It's like an attraction. Have you ever seen it? Yes, you have seen. Who are trying, is anyone trying to stop the violence? Yes, the teacher is coming with the bell, the vision, yeah. But the others, that's right. What do little children learn of the scene that are watching? They are coming, little children also, from far. Is it a show? Would you record it with your cell phone? Do you think that we are watching something that happens one day in the life of the character? Or maybe similar things are happening to him every day and every day and every day? They say that he's imagining things, that he says things in his own special way, that maybe it's because of him that it happens, this kind of things, or not. Or maybe that's the real truth. And we prefer to look to other side, not to talk about it. Not to talk about it. I don't know if it happens the same here, but in a couple of in 3 countries that I have been talking about it, it's quite normal that in schools don't want to recognize that it's happening in their schools. They talk it as a subject, but it's happening nearly in every class, in most of the schools of many countries. But everybody prefers not to talk about it because, it's so a subject complicated. It's a subject that are suffering. One, more or less, the 2 people of every 10 people. And in a hard way, 1 people every 50 people. Quite people, no? Don't you think? To be treated. That's something that is also common. That is when boys and girls are more than 10 years, that there's a gender humiliation also. That's a violence, sexual violence, sexualized violence. And it's also difficult to talk about it, but it's very, very, very common in boys and girls and everybody. But we can consider that kids are especially cruel because they don't realize what they're doing, or maybe they're playing or they're joking. Then we can try to learn, and we can try to show what is a joke. Where is the limit of a joke for everybody? Everybody who is more than 5 years old, then they can understand perfectly. 6, 7 years old understand perfectly where are the limits of a joke. They understand, they can, as us we can understand. Then maybe it's not only a question of jokes, maybe it's also a question of morals. No? But you would be, what would you prefer to be? The measure or him? We can dream that they both have the same opportunities in life. For instance, well, we can believe in the American dream, or we can recognize that our societies are not so equal in opportunities for people. And maybe this kind of dream that everything is possible when for many people it's not possible, and sometimes absolutely impossible, make us have this sense of humor and be very permissive with jokes that are not so hilarious. That's not easy. That is not easy also to say. That the solution normally, for instance, in Catalonia and in Spain, the most common solution to bullying is when they recognize a school recognize that there's a bullying, they change the person who's suffering from one school to the other. Great solution. Of course, the worst thing that can happen is this absolutely loss of identity. No? Of course, if people that are not accepting you and that people working against you makes you feel so bad, you don't feel one of them, but then who you are when you are constructing your identity in this society. No? Of course, one of the very difficult things of this book is that in this loss of sense, we can sense the meaning of the interest of life. And that it really happens, and that's the very taboo in this subject is this. But notice that we only talk about it when someone is dying. I don't know if it happens this way here, but in my country it does. From time to time, it appears in the papers, one boy, one girl who, what happened? And then you talk a couple of days of this story. Many people are suffering in the meantime. Most of them, of course, don't die. It would be terrible if not. But they're suffering anyway. It's absurd not to talk about it. Now, the aim of the book and the aim of working with it is exactly this, to make the prevention. How? Talking, recognizing the situation. Then you can have all these roles. You can be the victim, you can be the bully, but most of us are witnesses in this. When we are living, when we are equals, when we are at school, and we are seeing that is happening, and then we can validate this bullying, or we can react. It's not needed to be a hero. what is needed is not to laugh at, with violence, not to see it as something, not to legitimate these attitudes that are doing violence to others. And this is the proposals basically that I can give you about this book to be worked in the room or of reading, or with a collective reading that you can do. Thank you very much.
Bohužel musím jít, takže